Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, over the weekend held its 2025 elective national convention in Ibadan, despite counter-court orders and injunctions attempting to stop it. The party went against all odds to conduct the exercise, and what was meant to be a moment of unity for the party instead exposed more fractures within the party.
The party, in a dramatic move, expelled 11 high-profile members, including Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, and Senator Samuel Anyanwu, citing sustained anti-party activities since the 2023 elections. The decision was taken following a motion raised by the former chairman of the Board of Trustees, Chief Olabode George, at the convention.
Motion, the expulsion of the following persons from the People's Democratic Party for anti-party activities and gross breaches. His Excellency Wike, His Excellency Ayodele Fayose, Senator Samuel Anyanwu.
Well, in the midst of this storm, the PDP elected Kabiru Tanimu Turaki as its new national chairman, a move seen by some as a bid to restore credibility and by others as a power consolidation. But with key governors like Fintiri and Mutfwang rejecting the expulsions made at the convention, the question really stands. Can the PDP truly speak with one voice? Well, let's take a look.
And as contend with merits of litigation for and against this convention, as the chairman, NCOC, it is not within my prerogative to go on with this exercise.
Well, you did hear that, but then again, he went on to mention that he wasn't in support of the expulsions, especially of that of the FCT minister. Well, let's tell you that today we'll be looking into this discussion in full swing. We do have joining us for this conversation a member of the convention committee of the People's Democratic Party, one who has always appeared here on Breakfast Central to express how he feels about what's going on with the party and the way forward. And it seems like his plans in terms of his promises and his statements made here some weeks back has come to fruition. We do have Mazi Dickson Iroegbu who joins us this morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central. On a brighter note of the convention from the weekend, how does it feel like? Does it feel like a fresh of breath air, or does it feel like something is still amiss?
Good morning, and thank you very much for another opportunity to be with you. And thank you for recognizing that indeed we have held our convention. The naysayers and the detractors tried everything to ensure that 15th and 16th of November didn't come to fruition, but it did happen. And that is to show resolve of the people, because the People's Democratic Party is about the people. It's not owned by any individual or any group of individuals. So we are excited that we have crossed that path of whether it will hold or it won't hold. And yes, issues came up at the convention. Of course, the convention is the supreme body of the party. So it's expected that major issues would have been attended to. And indeed, some of which now being discussed, like the expulsion of the FCT star and his co-travelers who have taken a position against the position of the party. Because what is the primary purpose of having a political party if not to win elections, and form a government? Where members, especially senior members at that, respected members, decide to go against the expectation of the party, which is to form a new government, especially when the current government has failed the nation terribly. So these people went against the current of the wave of the party, and we couldn't continue carrying that baggage. And if you go to social media, there are those Nigerians out there who are appalled at the state of PDP and wondering why we couldn't, apply discipline to ensure that we tamed the excesses of erring members and all that. A lot of them, social media, excited that we're able. Some have said, it's coming, but never, and all of that, enforce discipline. And all. Because before now, the narrative out there is that PDP is a branch of APC, that PDP is working for APC. All of those nonsense narratives were out there simply because the activities of these members who have been shown the door, So the other angles, we will now begin from here to rebuild and reorganize and re-engineer internally the activities of the party to give it a new direction. But we are excited. Members, real members of PDP are indeed excited that we have gotten here. It's a breath of fresh air because like when that motion was heavily moved by Chief Olabode, the joy, the eruption of joy, in the state there, indeed told how excited members of the party, were that at least no individual or group of individuals can claim to be greater than the party. The convention has the right, and then we have a new NWC, heavily led by Turaki, SAN, and we believe in his leadership. Okay. We believe the capacity to bring to the table will, help organize the party to get back to it. We're excited.
Okay, exciting times.
Challenges.
Exciting times, you say, Mazi. And when Mr. Bode George was giving that speech, he said sustained anti-party activities for the last, since 2015. That brings me to this question. You say exciting times, but there are those that think that this might be an escalation of the crisis or the beginning of another crisis that will be unfolding, because those 11 persons that were expelled, they're senior members of the party. A lot of them are VIPs, and going by their temperament and their history, I don't think they're going to take this line low. So are you prepared, as a PDP, prepared for the fallout of this expulsions?
It doesn't matter what their reaction. I'm an Igbo man. We say in Igbo that Ofonye Anahoha. That is to say that an individual can be greater than an entire community. So the likes of the FCT minister and all of that who is the leader of this group that are, pulling the party backwards and all that. He has taken a position. And personally, I had expressed over and over again on various platforms, various forums, that it is clear that the FCT minister is no more a member of the PDP. Because if he was a member of the PDP, he wouldn't continue every now and then to disparage and undermine the party. He says the party has lost its value and all of that. So what is he doing there? He says he's going to support the current president to come back in 2027. So what is he doing in the PDP? And we are going to keep quiet and allow him, derail the party to the level where the approach will come to fruition, which is that kill the party. The party is bigger than anybody. So whether they will react, of course, is expected that they will react. But I expect that the best reaction they give is formally join the ruling party so that they will be identified alongside the elites who are now converging in the APC They can now continue in that direction of running Nigeria aground. And then the PDP, of course, will position itself to help save the nation, because we have done it before when the military, thought that nothing could be done about their grab, their hold to power and all of that, especially the Abacha era. Of course, PDP took a position. The founding fathers of the party, the likes of the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekweme, the likes of Adamu Chiroman, Solomon Lara, and all of that, they took a position in the interest of the Nigerian people to form a political party that will help save the nation and give it the proper direction it ought to have. And you can attest to it that according to what is now, the 16 years of PDP is far ahead than what we have, or what currently is experiencing under the APC. And so what is even more disheartening is now to see senior members of the party hobbing and identifying with a party or a government that has practically run Nigeria aground. Everything about the nation, the economy, the unity of the nation, everything seems to be in disarray. So what are you really identifying, therefore, with this failed government for? So for us, they can react for all we care, but the party has moved on. The new leadership of the party, I hope, will, of course, reach out to those who are willing to erase the vision of the party. I expect, for instance, that, and I think I had made the excuse for Nyesom Wike before now at the at the beginning of this year when I was engaged in all of that. He kept supporting the current president. I made excuses at that time. The party hadn't been in a position whether it's going to present a presidential candidate for the 2027 election or not. But it is clear, especially when the party now zoned its ticket to southern Nigeria. We expect the LT to now that the party has taken this position, we will watch and see whether he's serious about or not. But he kept on, doing everything possible to disparage the image of the party, to undermine the party and all that. And so the best that the party could do was save itself from the plot of the detractors, which is simple: to annihilate the People's Democratic Party, to make sure it died, and make sure they buried it. But it's about the people, it's not about individuals.
Mazi Dickson, how do you respond to the argument that the People's Democratic Party has gone ahead and carried out its Ibadan convention despite court rulings that had, spoken earlier against it? And also, INEC was not a part of this process. So how do we then legitimize the decisions that were reached at this convention?
First off, INEC was notified, and that is what the Electoral Act required, that INEC should be duly notified.
But the court judgment
of being present at the convention is optional.
The court judgment in Federal High Court Abuja barred, also restrained INEC from being a part of this or acknowledging what was happening at the convention.
I'm heading to why you said INEC wasn't there. It's not compulsory, according to the Electoral Act, for INEC to be there. What is important is for us as a political party to duly notify INEC, and that was done. So that is about the judgments and all the judicial rascality that is being, shopped for here and there. You see, for us, what we are holding on to is the judgment of the Supreme Court, which has clearly taken a position that issues of political parties is an internal issue and it should be left at that level. If the judicial arm has now become a political party, they should let us know. So for us, the rest of it, the new leadership will take it from there. And I trust the position of our new chairman, a brand new chairman. Of course, is a advocate of Nigeria. So I am not, people like us are not disturbed at all about possible legal tussles that may emerge eventually. But it is very clear the Supreme Court has ruled that political matter, every other issue should be left internally and should be addressed internally. Every other angles, like the former governor of Jigawa and all that, all those angles that were used to ensure that this convention didn't hold, well, it has held, and reconciliation where necessary will be done. Those, like the chairman said in his acceptance speech, he clearly stated that he will reach out to those aggrieved members who may want to come back to the party, because the PDP is the only umbrella available for us as a people, as a nation, to salvage this nation, because everything possible is available for the party to come back to power in 2027. The challenges that you're seeing, before now, the narrative out there is that PDP was dead. And we have always maintained that PDP is not dead, because if it was dead, you won't be seeing this kind of traction that you're seeing both in the judiciary and also all the angles being taken by politicians. It's simply because PDP remains the main alternative, the only platform that can indeed help give Nigeria the right trajectory it should have towards greatness. So those angles were not, personally, I'm not disturbed at all.
All right, Mazi Dickson, I could tell by the excitement in your voice that it really was a good weekend for you, and your face is lighting up.
Were you there?
By the second. I'm sure he was there. As a member of the committee.
We don't
right?
know.
You were
I was
there,
there.
right?
If I wasn't there, I'll be telling you in fact, I was on stage. I embraced Chief Olabode George after he moved that motion. I was one of those that, danced to the Wike's song of Nyendeba, and all of that. That was celebration for us. So I was there. It was
talking about dancing to the song. I don't know if you've heard, you were dancing to the song Nyendeba. I don't know if you've heard of the remix, because the remix is out this morning. The FCT Minister's SSA has released the remix. You might want to see it on the screen. It's a call. It's a special announcement. I don't know if you're aware of this special announcement. It's an invitation to emergency 103rd National Executive Committee, NEC meeting. The members of the National Executive Committee, NEC and Board of Trustees are hereby invited to an emergency meeting of NEC and BOT scheduled as follows on Tuesday. The venue and the time. Attendance is very important, as crucial matters will be discussed and addressed, and Senator Samuel Anyanwu, who has just been suspended.
So maybe we should call him a factional national secretary.
National secretary. What do you make of this?
Can an expelled person release a statement?
Or do we now have multiple factions in the People's Democratic Party?
No, my quick reaction is, this is laughable. I don't know how low these people can go, but it's left for them as committee of friends or group of friends to cook up whatever thing that they may call their association and get together to have their mingling and discuss whatever they want to discuss. But if it is the People's Democratic Party, the party that held sway for 16 years in this country, no, that is, this is, maybe at this, their gut, they will now eventually decide to find where they can find shelter elsewhere politically, because as far as the party is concerned, the supreme organ of the party has taken a position and it stands. Now, you referred some of the challenges or the position that the governor of Plateau State and Plateau State took after this expulsion of these people and all that. You see, the truth is that just like the chairman of that convention stated, that it is not in its position to take a decision, but that the convention can take a position. And the position that the convention took, which was voted for there, all right, was the convention should go and proceed with every scheduled engagement for that very day. And when they're excited, of course, the governor of Adamawa State and Plateau State maybe maybe they have special affinity with some of the expelled people. Well, but they can maintain their friendship and they can try to also placate their friends. But the point is that PDP cannot be at the mercy of a group of people who have taken a position that is contrary to the decision of the party. That's what's important, because whenever especially the media should also help. Without the media arm, the fourth estate of the realm, the democracy cannot thrive. If the right positionings are not, highlighted, the democracy will suffer. The media should also help to ensure that it doesn't fix this, power-drunk people. It doesn't fit their ego to continue to destabilize and, in fact, derail democracy. Would you rather that we have one-party state in Nigeria, as APC is attempting, this current administration is attempting to do? No, that democracy cannot thrive that way.
All right,
they can meet. They can meet, but not in the name of PDP. That's
Mazi Dickson, let's hold on there. We'll go on a very quick break, and when we come back, we will wrap up this conversation nicely. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the recent updates with the PDP's expulsions, the convention that happened over the course of the weekend, and now the recent developments that have shown an announcement by the expelled National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, about the invitation to an emergency 103rd National Executive Committee meeting scheduled to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, at Wadata Plaza. So we're joined by Mazi Dickson Iroegbu this morning, and we're looking at what the implications of this are. Thank you very much, Mazi, for joining us. Now, the question would be that there are factions, as you can see, and there are people who feel disgruntled. There are governors who have distanced themselves from the conclusions that were reached at the Ibadan Convention, the likes of Governor Mutfwang, Fintiri. So we've seen a number of pushback, right? You can't limit it to just saying, it's the opinion of one person's opinion cannot overshadow the others. The question now is, the disgruntled members within the party, how does the party intend to ensure that the majority of them are appeased in some form and that you can present a united front for 2027?
I don't understand what you mean by disgruntled. There's no disgruntled member of that convention. The chairman of the convention, that is Governor Fintiri, yes, I think there were about 4 or 5 motions that were moved at that convention, and he exempted one, which is, of course, the expulsion of his very good friend, the FCT minister, and all that. But the convention is not built around one person. The convention is not built around certain people. The convention is, like I said, the supreme organ, the supreme arm of the party. So there's no group there that were said to be disgruntled with the activity of the party. Those who are working against the party, those who were expelled, the reasons were very clear. And the evidences are there. I stated that the FCT minister, who's the leader of that group, has taken a position and he has made it public over and over again that he is going to support Chief Bola Tinubu for 2027. We in the PDP, we are positioning to ensure that Chief Bola Tinubu does not return in 2027. And that is where we parted ways. So the party doing what it did at the convention cannot be said to have created faction. There's no faction. There was no faction there, and the position was taken clearly. That one of the motions that was moved, which is what has attracted most of the traction in the media that we're seeing, which is, of course, is expected, the expulsion of Nyesom Wike and the 10 others. You see, I want to ask you, 3 of you there, my brothers and my sister, please, would you rather that we continued this direction? Is there anywhere the Constitution allows you to be half Muslim and half Christian, or half APC or half PDP? There is no such. You're either there or here. And that is why, referring to that song, Enyendeba, it's an Igbo song. He said, if you give to these people, also give to these people. Therefore, if justice is what we are all clamoring for, they say, come with clean hands if you are seeking for it. If you want to be a member of the PDP, you cannot present yourself above the PDP. You must subject yourself and submit to the position of the party. The party intends to present a candidate for 2027 contest. The party intends to win the election in the 2027 election. And the party is not a branch of another political party. The party cannot continue to condone the positions that individuals are taking, that they will stay in the party and work for the other party. That is not sustainable. Okay. Can you work in TVC and also be said to be a member of another media outfit? No, it's not possible. Let's be real about what we are discussing here. What examples are we setting? Is Nigeria a banana republic? Are there no rules? Are there no laws in the land anymore that some people who have gotten so high in the position in the society can now begin to present themselves above the party, above the institutions that makes the country? You can, of course, attest to, every one of us can attest to the antecedents of the FCT minister, who appears to now gotten himself so drunk in power that he doesn't now recognize that institutions are above individuals. Look at the mess that he had with the naval officer and all of that, where the uniform of an officer was desecrated, where the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was indirectly insulted by his own minister and all that. So please, let us be real about what we want for our country. This place, if we want to build it as a nation, then rules must apply. Nobody should be above the laws of the land. Nobody should be above institutions in the land and all that. And that is what PDP has done at the convention. Okay. People cannot continue to carry themselves as gods and expect that all of us will sit back and watch.
So rules must apply, you say, Mazi, and what happened over the weekend is exercising self-preservation. And you also did some house cleaning, the purpose of political parties to win elections. Having said that, how do you interpret the silence of some of the PDP heavyweights that were absent at the convention, the likes of the governor of Taraba State and also the governor of Osun State, Jackson Ademola Adeleke? What does that mean for the People's Democratic Party? And would you say lessons have been learned following this episode that we hope the PDP has put behind them going forward as we inch towards 2027?
For the governor of Osun State, he was well and ably represented by his deputy. In fact, I personally also exchanged pleasantries with the deputy governor of Osun State. So he was there, represented by his deputy. Now, for the Taraba State governor, we are not unaware of his position that soon he is going to join his elite gang, which is the APC. We are very much aware of that. The party is not unaware of it. Like I said to you, the party is bigger than individuals, and that we have shown. We can, the PDP can, stand for itself, and that's what. But
doesn't this leave the party in a weakened state as we inch towards 2027? You seem to be losing a lot of your governors, and also those that are still in the party. You look at a person like the Plateau State governor, for example. It's his body language, his mind is in the PDP, but his body seems to be drifting towards the APC. Are you expecting more defections before 2027? And how do you replace these big individuals and the political capital they carry, the ones you've expelled and the ones that will still, defect?
First, the governor of Plateau State was there at the convention and was part of every activity. In fact, he was very active. I saw him. I was very close to where he was seated and all of that. So most of the activities, he was part of it. What position he's going to take, whether his mind is in PDP and his body, or his body is in PDP and his mind is somewhere else, Well, that's neither here nor there. We are very much aware that a lot of the governors who have defected, most of the reasons given is either inducement, of course, or one question about one challenge they have or the other. So it's blackmail, most of them who have moved thus far. That's what facts that we have on the table. It's not in any way because the ruling party has done anything fantastic. We left, PDP left an economy worth over $555 billion US dollars in 2015, and today is far less than half of it. So what has APC brought? Ruins. We left a nation that was striving towards nationhood, a country that was striving or working towards nationhood. The unity of the nation was not in doubt, and all of that. The economy was not in doubt. The security situation was not this horrible as we're faced with today. But APC has bungled everything, ruined everything. So those who are said to be moving that way, therefore, can only be joining because they are being muzzled or induced to so do. For the PDP, has it depleted? Of course, if all of them were to be together with us, would have been excited about it. But you see, there are people also who have called since that convention held. A lot of big shots have called. Personally, I've spoken to some top politicians who have congratulated the party and said now that they can begin to look forward to the possibility of coming back home to the umbrella, because this place is home to a lot of politicians, including so many who are in the APC. Most of the champions that are presented by the APC were people who the PDP gave a platform and showcased them to the nation, and they did very well.
Mazi
The likes of Nyesom Wike and all of them, they were all PDP products.
What would you like to share? Now that there's been a house cleaning done, you've kicked out some people. You've just said that there's some people who have expressed interest, to come to the party now that things are in order. Would you like to share an example of some of these people?
Well, I'm an obedient member of the PDP. I have never pretended to be an ardent member of the obedient movement. I support Peter Obi, and one of the things I am praying God earnestly to do for me personally as a citizen of Nigeria and as a member of the PDP is to please touch the heart of Peter Obi to come back to the PDP. And I pray God that the PDP presents him as the next flag bearer for the 2027 contestation. Did I speak with Mr. Peter Obi from Ibadan? Yes, I did. Personally, I spoke with him. And I can tell you that the coast is getting clearer for the likes of him to come back home. Okay. And listen, this thing is about salvaging the nation. People of common interest, all Democrats should assemble to come together under the umbrella so that we can help save democracy in Nigeria and indeed, by extension, save our nation.
Okay. We're almost wrapping up this conversation, but my question to you is, today, or better still, from over the weekend as we count down, the governor of Taraba State, His Excellency Agbo Kefas, has said that he's also moving to the APC, he's leaving the PDP. My colleague earlier on... I
said that we're aware of that.
Yeah. Benga asked, what do you make out of the mass exodus of some of these heavyweights, as it were, politicians and those who are in other states? There are only 36 states, if I'm right, looking at the list. And it looks like the PDP has very little in terms of number of states. So now you're saying that we're coming back. How are you sure you're able to pull your weight as a party? Now you have another governor leaving. So how does the PDP plan to pull its weight, especially now that you have more governors leaving your party and moving to the APC?
PDP as a political party is built around the people, not around individuals, not around powerful people. The institution, the party is built for the people. And there's no family you go to in Nigeria across the federation that you will see a member of the PDP. But when it comes to structure, political structure, it is the People's Democratic Party that has that structure. And for instance, if you keep highlighting how powerful the governors are, the governors were there in 2023 when Mr. Peter Obi who had no councillor in his political party, won the election as far as we're concerned, even though it's announced the way it is. He went the way it went. If you go to Delta State, if you recall, the governor was there and was also the vice presidential candidate of the PDP at that time. And Obi won the election landslide in Delta State. The president today was defeated in Lagos and all that. Even Rivers, Nyesom Wike, only if he can tell himself the truth, knows that Peter Obi won the election in Rivers State and all of that. So it is about the people. Like the governor of Oyo State would always say, he said, until hunger is seen to defect, until insecurity is seen to defect, until the battered economy of the nation is seen to defect to the APC, then we'll be taking the defection thing very seriously. Outside that, these people who are defecting are only defecting for their own personal selfish interests and nothing about the people. We all know that that is what it is. You and I can attest to it. You live in Nigeria. Is your life better under APC than it was under PDP? Of course, the truth is that no. Is insecurity in the country, has it stopped under APC? No, it has escalated. Has the image of the nation, look at Nigeria now being described as a now disgraced nation. Because since APC came to power, all that they have brought upon this great nation is disgrace. So those who are joining them, therefore, are only described as the kleptocrats within the elite community who are ganging up against the populists, against the Nigerian people who are going through these terrible policies and all of that the APC government has brought upon the nation. So our reaction is, it's a free world. The Constitution allows you to the freedom to associate, to mingle and all of that. So joining the PDP is a free entrance and free exit. Those who are exiting, good luck to them. But look out for us. PDP is coming back to that level where so many of them, I am predicting, so many of them will start working very hard again to come back home by the time PDP would have gotten the victory that the Nigerian people will give to it.
Okay. Well, this conversation, I'm sure, will continue, especially after the convention. There's a lot of talks, reactions here and there.
The convention is over already.
Yes, I mean, after now that it's over,
so it is now
we'll be waiting for, especially with the expelled secretary putting out that statement, also shared by the SSA to the FCT minister.
He is at liberty to assemble with his friends, but the PDP has taken a position and all that. Maybe they are meeting to now discuss how. So you won't be there somewhere else to go and
so you won't be there
achieve their political dreams.
All right.
I'm sorry, sir.
You know what? We actually do have to wrap up the conversation now. Mazi Dickson Iroegbu, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.